Welcome back, everyone. All right, so we need to talk about variables, and we're going to talk about integer variables in this tutorial, but there are a ton of other variables that we're going to talk about. All right, so for the next couple of tutorials, we're going to talk again about variables. So the first thing we need to do is we're going to declare a variable here, and we're just going to type in int a, and int a is going to be equal to 1. Now, an integer, if you remember back to math class, is a positive or negative whole number, meaning that you can either have 1, -1, -10, -100, but not 1.1. All right, at least in the computer, it's like that. Now, let's say instead of hello world, we want to go ahead and put C out and then A, like that here. All right, and let's for the second here, comment out second main and third main. And the reason for that is that when you comment something out, it doesn't run anymore. And this is something that's used quite a bit, so it's just going to see this first C out here, okay? And you can see that, excellent, it has 1. It's pretty simple. And if we change A to, let's say, 2, guess what it's going to output? It's going to output 2. Simple enough. Now, what happens if you want, let's say, let's put in that hello world, all right, exclamation point because, well, just because, and go ahead and we'll put /n and then the quotes here. Now, let's go ahead and run this here. It's not going to work. The reason is that if you want to output this, you have to go ahead and put 2 more of those brackets there, okay? But you'll also notice that the /n puts it on the next line. So let's go ahead and get rid of that /n. And let's go ahead and run this here. And you can see it says hello world 2. Well, A is equal to 2, so obviously it's going to be hello world. Now, this is a common mistake that everyone makes. It doesn't matter what level you are. But at the end of a string, you put a space. Always put a space. And there you go. You now have a space here. Because you can have as many of these spaces as you want here, right? And it's going to end up rendering that. Because again, within the quotes, they take the white spaces literally, meaning that, you can have 1, 2, or 10, and it's going to print out 1, 2, or 10, right? Whereas if you have white spaces here, it's not going to do anything because, again, that is not, the spaces aren't taken literally, okay? So a lot of times what people do is, let's say you're making a game, you can go score, :space, and there we go. 2. Simple enough, right? Now, again, we can go ahead and change int a to 3. And if we wanted to, let's say, have int b and make that 4, and we wanted to, let's say, add in b, you'll see that 3, 4. But it looks like 34, so what do we do? Now, you go ahead and put in another 2 of these brackets here. You put in a string, and then you can put in a comma here if you want. So, for example, it'll be 3, 4, or you can go 3 space 4. You can do whatever you want here. And by the way, you can put a semicolon here if you really want to, because again, it takes everything within the quotes. They take it as literally a string. All right. So, as you can see here, you can have A or B, and you can call these whatever you want except for reserved words. So you can't call this int string because string is what we call a reserved word because a string is another kind of a variable here. But we can call this apples. All right. And, etc. Or we can call it bananas. Just like that. And then we go ahead and run that. But you'll notice that B is no longer B, it's bananas. And I'm just going to go ahead and run that again. So there we go. So you can call those ints whatever you want. All right. So I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.